Is this a hot day or ain't it?
Why shouldn't it be hot? Yesterday was the 24th of August. The 24th of August.
You know that date good, don't you?
Yes, I know that date good.
Your wife's wedding day.
Yes, my wife's wedding day.
Well, as I said before, losing a wife ain't a real trouble like losing your health or your money, is it?
You've been very sympathetic, Calcio. It's how did I happen to meet you?
We got to talking kind of late last night in a speakeasy belonging to a friend of mine.
Well, where are we now?
At the Westlake Hotel, which I own mostly. I keep these rooms for me and my friends.
Huh. Oh, for the love of heaven.
I'll put the windows down. Want to see something?
What?
Come here.
Man on my mind all night and day. Gosh, it's hot in here. Hey, move that fan so some of the sea breeze gets to me.
Right.
Oh, I wish I had your crust and could stand things.
Sure. You're too soft. You always were. And where does it get you?
Well, every time I tried being hard-boiled, it didn't get me anywhere except in jail once.
Oh, forget that.
I don't want to forget it. Only swell man I ever knew in my life was in jail that time.
It must have been swell. What was he in for?
Oh, he wasn't in jail. Hey, what'd you do that for?
So the draft wouldn't go straight through you. You know, you can get a terrible cold that way, even on a hot day.
That's funny. One of them done something to the fan. We can't hear him now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who she is any more than you do. But I say a man would be better off with a woman like that for a wife than with the kind of wife I had.
Say, for the love of heaven, will you eat something or not?
That sort of girl is what she is. She's on the level whether you're for her or whether you're not. If she isn't, a man can kick her out. But a nice woman can get away with anything. Even with a divorce, if she happens to want a husband richer than the one she's got already.
Well, I don't know. I figure out the trouble with women nowadays is they're getting smart.
Yeah, they're too smart. They know how to be married, respected, and protected, free, all at the same time.
We ought to get those dames over and let you tell them what you know about women. It would hand them a laugh anyhow.
Yeah, I'll tell them.
Fine. I'll get them.
Give me some more of that fan again, will you?
Hello. Hazel. What's the name of the party across the court?
Just a minute. Wait. Oh.
The court.
You're on the level. I like you, but as I was saying to the boyfriend the night you lost your last job, there's something wrong about your psychology.
All right, get him for me in a minute.
Oh, that's a word that means anything. But I mean you don't click. Now, why don't you buck up and make something of your opportunities?
Opportunities. You make me sick.
Well, I ain't saying you got the chance to understudy the leading lady in a new show or anything like that, but everybody can do something.
Yeah, so I've heard. Was a time when a girl could try her hand at a little easy grass and maybe come home with a rent, for instance. I've done it myself.
I never knew that.
Oh, I only did it when it was that or the first high window. But having tried it, I'll try jumping next time. I ain't crazy enough about living to get mine that way.
A nice girl like you shouldn't have to.
All I'm good for is to stand in the back row of a cheap show and lift up a leg to a cheap tune. It's all I know how to do and all I want to do, and I can't even get that to do half the time.
I guess you're just unlucky. Why don't you go to see one of them birds that tells you you're going by the wrong name? Maybe if you changed it, you'd get somewhere.
Yeah? Where? Where's it a get? In the front row steady till you're 25 maybe, and then what? Oh, I guess there ain't nothing I'll ever get that's worth having, so what's the use?
Hello. Hazel.
You answer it. I'm out. But don't tell him how much.
Hello? Hello, who wants her? Hey, say, you trying to be funny?
Hey, Eddie Calcio, the guy that owns this hotel, and he wants to invite us to a party.
Hello, sure. Sure. Now do you remember where you met me, Mr. Dunlap?
And a baby.
You mean you never even seen me before?
No.
Oh. Oh, it's enough, Betty. It's too hot.
Well, that's not hard work. Play it a little harder today.
I'll go on. I can't play this game if you lean all over me, can I?
Who knows what time it is?
Who cares?
Oh, I thought it'd be nice to take a ride in Central Park and get a little air.
We ain't 9 yet.
Yeah, save your taxi fare. He can float to Central Park if he don't eat something pretty soon.
Oh, I don't want anything.
Maybe he's on a liquid diet.
He sure is on a liquid diet. I've been trying to make him eat all day.
You know, you might get sick.
Well,
Well, you might die.
well, what difference does that make?
Well, I guess I gotta think of my reputation, haven't I? A lady can't afford to be found in a hotel room with a dead man, can she?
Well, at least you're sort of honest, Pansy. You don't pretend a man means something to you when he doesn't.
Oh, come on, Eddie. Let's play this game. He's going to talk about life.
All right.
Come on, Mr. Dunlap.
Yeah?
I want to show you something.
Wait, it's my turn.
No, it isn't. It's
All
my
right.
turn.
Oh, yes,
Wait
it
a minute
is.
Now, Eddie.
Oh, it's my
All right,
turn.
well, give me one little turn.
Well, no, you had your chance
Well,
already.
go ahead then. Let me see how well you're going to do. Now, you try.
Well, what is it? I don't see anything unusual.
That's good. Most men be seeing unusual things after half of what you've had.
Hmm? Oh, you make me laugh, Pansy. I haven't laughed in weeks.
Feeling sorry for yourself?
Well, no, I'm not sorry for myself. You wouldn't say it that way if you knew a little more
I
about
know. I read all about it in the newspapers. Your wife left you to marry an old guy with a lot of money. Don't let a little thing like that get you down?
Oh, is it such a little thing? I wish I could think so.
Well, it seems little to me compared to the things that men do to women. Don't hear many of them whining about it.
You haven't a very high opinion of men, have you, Pansy?
Well, I've never looked up to them much. I never had any reason to. Well, of course, I suppose there are men who try hard. And after all, I respect people who try hard. That is, if they're trying for something more than eating and sleeping and having clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know. You never even had a chance to try for something you really wanted. Something more than eating and sleeping and clothes. Isn't that so?
Look, you got troubles of your own. You don't need to worry about me.
You're one of those women who don't whine, aren't you, Pansy?
Yeah, sure. I'm swell, I am.
Yes, you are. You're swell. I said a man would be better off with a woman like you for a wife than with the kind of wife I had.
You laughed yourself sick, I bet.
No, I didn't laugh. I told you I hadn't laughed in weeks. A man would be better off with a woman like nice flowers. Funny they don't wither in this heat.
It'd be funnier if they did.
Huh? Oh, I see. You do like flowers, Pansy?
Well, I don't know. I never got near enough to any real ones to find out.
Poor little Pansy. A man would be better off with a woman like you for a wife than with the kind of wife I had. That's what I said.
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Oh, you don't believe me, huh? All right. Let's get married. Well, will you marry me, Pansy? I'll give you the chance you never had.
I guess I better give you something instead, a load of black coffee.
But I mean it, Pansy.
Now, listen, you mustn't talk like that.
But why not?
No, even if you don't mean it, it does things to me. It breaks my heart.
But I do mean it, Pansy.
Shut up, will you?
No, not until you say you'll marry me.
You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. No, I won't.
But you gotta marry me, Pansy. A man would be better off with a woman like you for a wife.
No, don't you say that again. You shut up.
Listen, everybody. I want Pansy to marry me. I'm free, and I'm not a bad sort.
Make him shut up. Make him shut up. Well, for the love of heaven. All right. Wait a minute.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Well, I see you've pulled yourself together. I mean, you're up and on your feet. Even though that chair does look a little handy. Oh, I feel awful myself, too. Well, I must say I don't feel like jumping out any high windows this morning like I have for the past few months. Did you want some coffee? Would you like some of that headache?
I don't remember meeting you.
Don't you know me?
I said I don't remember meeting you. Of course, I know you're Pansy Gray, the young woman who was arrested last spring in Wilmington for being indecently clad in a burlesque show.
Oh, so you remember that this morning?
Why shouldn't I? I was the lawyer who got you off. Now, will you please tell me just exactly why I find you here?
You mean to tell me you don't remember you and I got married last night?
Say that again.
You and I got married last night. I'm your wife, so help me.
You? You? My wife?
Yes, me. Oh, don't stare at me like that. You made me marry you. I didn't know you was that bad. Honest, I didn't.
Yes, it's coming back to me. Like a bad dream, very fantastically.
Yeah, like a bad dream, eh?
Oh, no, it's not possible. Was there a church? Somewhere in the country?
Yeah, we stopped at the first church we found, down on Staten Island after Eddie helped you get the license. Yeah, it was a nice little church, too. It was all just beautiful.
Well, what's the time?
Oh, it's nearly noon, I guess. Say, the newspapers have been trying to get you all morning.
Oh, so it's in the papers.
Yeah, sure it is. Eddie gave him a load of it last night. You imagine what they say, even if he was nice to him. Say, I'd much rather you wouldn't read them.
Oh. Would you mind waiting in the next room while I talk to my sister?
Well, no, not at all. But if you think you're going to try and figure out some way of getting rid of me and calling this marriage off, you can't, that's all.
My dear young woman, if you want money...
I don't. Money's got nothing to do with what I want.
Surely you don't want to be tied to a man who didn't know what he was doing when he married you and who doesn't want to be tied to you.
Well, I don't think that's any of your business. What I want or don't want is up to me and him.
But my brother wasn't himself last night.
Yeah? Well, maybe he was more himself, his real self, than he is this morning, standing there letting his wife be treated like she was so much dirt. Well, I'm not dirt, see? I ain't gonna be swept out like I was.
Oh, Neil.
Oh, don't.
What if she does want money?
I don't believe she does.
But if she's pretending she doesn't in order to get more, she'll be very disappointed. You haven't much, except debts.
Well, I make enough.
Well, you did make enough. But people in a place like Wilmington don't want a lawyer they can't ask to dinner. Oh, dear, didn't I tell you? And didn't Ellen tell you that you were very foolish to take this girl's case when she was arrested for being scantily clad in a burlesque show? That got you notoriety enough.
Yeah, now I suppose I'll say that's why Ellen left me,
Oh, be frank, Neil. Wasn't it?
No. Good heavens, no. Now, you answer it. If there are any reporters...
Hello? Who? Oh, wait. Gustav Saxon.
No, I don't talk to him.
Nonsense. You have to see him. Ask Mr. Saxon to come up. I'll go in there and keep your wife out of the way. You will have to learn to kowtow to men like Saxon in the future. They're likely to be the only kind of clients you'll have. Someone's calling on my brother. I'll wait here if you don't mind.
Want a highball or anything?
No, thank you.
I came to congratulate you and to offer you a wedding present.
Well, that's very kind of you, but...
I know what you are up against. And it's likely you do, too. That's why I've changed my opinion of you since morning.
A good many people have changed their opinion of me since this morning.
Oh, don't worry about your straight-laced clients and friends back in Wilmington. They are through with you.
Naturally.
And you are through with them. Since I got you into this...
That's not true.
Oh, pardon me. I sent for you the time the young lady was arrested for appearing on the stage without enough clothes on to suit our Wilmington sense of propriety. Would you have met her if I hadn't employed you to get her out of jail?
As a matter of fact, I would have. But I've often wondered why you sent for me that time instead of your own lawyers.
It is simple. I knew you came of those same reformers who were trying to close the show. I knew you would therefore have more influence with them. And the biggest part of my income from that block of property came out of the theater. If it closed...
Are you sure you don't want a highball or something?
Nothing, thanks.
I like you. You are not a coward. And I believe this marriage is the beginning of a wisdom you've never had before.
That's another way of looking at it, anyway.
That's why I've come here, since I happen to be coming to New York today. To offer you my support and to ask you to take over my law business.
Say, you like this green nail polish? Huh? Oh. I think it's kind of loud myself. But it is novel. Oh, I guess there's nothing to prevent my having a highball if I want one.
I've been thinking, dear, this young woman can refuse to help us with the divorce, but she can't force you to treat her as your wife. All she can do is to sue you for support.
I'll have to work this out my own way, Kitty. After all, there's more than one way of looking at it. You go home now.
To Wilmington?
Yes.
How can I? What can I say to people?
Oh, tell them the truth. Tell them your brother got drunk and didn't know what he was doing. Tell them the liquor nowadays can't be trusted.
Come stay at my house, darling, as soon as you're alone.
Thanks, Brooks. Don't worry.
You going to your sister like she said?
You said you weren't interested in money. Why not?
You don't remember any of the things you talked about last night, do you?
Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Oh, nothing. Nothing you'd understand the way you feel now. Only if you did understand, you'd know why I don't want money.
Well, what do you want?
I want the chance you promised me last night. I want a chance to make good. I can. Yeah, and I will. You know, you're going to go through an awful bad time whether you get rid of me or whether you don't. Maybe it'll be better with me than without me.
Well, it won't work, I tell you. There's not a hope of it working.
Anything you tell me to do, I'll do.
All right. You do just as you please. And so will I.
Wants to speak to Mr. Dunlap. He's out of town on business.
Very good, madam. Hello? No, Miss Catherine, he's not in. Very good, miss.
It was Mr. Dunlap's sister, madam. I gave her your message.
Wait a minute. Why wasn't this table cleared?
The servants are leaving, madam.
Oh, they're leaving, are they? Well, get them in here.
Very well.
Well?
Well, it's a week past our payday, that's what.
No, that isn't it. You know Mr. Dunlap will pay you. What's the real reason?
Why, that is the reason.
No, it isn't. You don't want to work for me, that's the reason.
Oh, no, madam. It is not.
But it is. What are you afraid of? Let's give it to her. She's asking for it. Sure, that's the reason.
But why? I've treated you all right, haven't I?
Well, we feel you don't belong here, and that's all that's to it. Come on.
No, wait a minute. Oh, what's the use? Nothing I could ever say would make you understand. As far as you're concerned, I'm just a woman that's had a lucky break and don't deserve it. Sure, I know what you think.
You've probably always had it pretty soft.
Oh, yeah? I don't suppose you'd ever believe I'd been hungry, huh? Well, I have. Don't you talk to me about having it soft. Listen, I've been so hungry that... what do you care?
Well, I'd feel sorry if I could believe it.
Yeah, sure you would. That's what keeps people being alive, feeling sorry for somebody. It means that they'll have somebody feeling sorry for them when they need it. I tell you that if you got a chance to help another fella out, why, it's like throwing your own bread away to turn it down. Well, I suppose you think I'm a queer sort of a one to preach. I guess you know that being in a church never meant much to me, except once.
I'll clear the table immediately, madam. I'm sorry I'm so late about it.
Listen, what are you standing there for? Go and answer the bell.
Oh, yes.
I'll go and do my ordering, madam.
Thank you. Well, what about you?
Me? I wouldn't think of leaving. Now that we're all so friendly.
We don't need you any longer. You pack your things and get out.
Oh, no, I'm under orders to Mr. Dunlap.
Yeah? Well, you'll be under orders to a cop in a minute. Now you get the blazes out of here, you lockjawed bully!
The gentleman wishes to see you, madam.
Mr. Gustav Saxon. That's funny. I've heard the name, but I don't remember him.
If you'll pardon me, madam, everybody has heard of Mr. Saxon. He's a very rich man.
Oh.
He asked, first of all, for Mr. Dunlap. But I said he was out of town.
Thank you.
Mrs. Dunlap?
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Dunlap.
I'm sorry to intrude, but I don't seem to be able to reach your husband at his office.
Oh, you a friend here?
In a manner of speaking, he's supposed to be handling my business for me.
Oh. Well, don't you want to sit down?
Thanks. I'm surprised to hear that your husband is out of town. You see, I've been rather depending on him and...
Oh, well, I'm awful sorry,
Mr. Saxon, but you see, it was something awful important and he had to go.
I thought he perhaps changed his mind about taking my offer.
Oh, no. No, I know it wasn't that.
But you must admit it's odd. I haven't heard a word from him for 3 weeks.
Well, you know how it is, Mr. Saxon. You see, Neil and I haven't been married very long, and...
Oh, honeymooning, eh?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I can't blame him for neglecting his work, Mrs. Donald.
Oh, he'll make up for it, Mr. Saxon. You know, he's got so many brains, and he's so honest and fine. He can do twice the work any other man can once he gets started.
With a wife like you, I'm sure he will. Suppose you ask him to call at my office as soon as he returns.
Sure I will. He'll be there late this afternoon.
He's returning today, then?
Yeah, I'm expecting him any minute now. I'll tell him right away.
But I'm glad I did. It gave me an opportunity of meeting you.
You know, it's funny, but I got a feeling I've seen you somewhere before.
Maybe you'll remember where, if you see me often enough.
Well, I do hope we are going to see you often, Mr. Saxon.
You will. I like you, Mrs. Donald.
Oh, that's awful nice of you, Mr. Saxon. I want Neil's friends to like me.
If they don't, they are idiots.
Now listen. Gustav Saxon's just been here.
Gustav?
Yeah.
Gustav. Oh, well, did you hire him?
Don't you know who he is?
Of course I do, my dear. He's a cook. Can't be anything but a cook with a name like Gustav. It's perfect. Simply perfect.
Sit down. Now listen. Gustav Saxon is one of the richest men in New York. And he says you're his lawyer.
Hmm? Oh.
Now, what are you laughing at?
Oh. Well, I vaguely remember a case I handled for him once.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you think that one case is so funny, you won't mind getting to work at some others that he's got waiting for you.
Work? On a summer day? Nonsense. Only the ants work on a summer day. You'll find them the most industrious of insects, my dear. Well, fortunately, I am not an insect.
Now, what are you then?
Oh, you're sure you're not inferring I'm not a gentleman?
Well, maybe there ain't such a lot of difference between gentlemen and insects.
Huh? Oh, you're very fancy. You're very amusing. Well, isn't that why I married you?
You married me to give me a chance. Yeah, swell chance you're giving me. Nursemaid to a drunken fool.
No, please. I know you're quite capable of knowing that I'm drunk. But a fool is going a little too far.
Yeah, I suppose you're not a fool sitting there day after day pouring that muck down your throat.
What about the way you're letting your work go? You know, you got a big opportunity. It ain't gonna be easy to find another one like it. Where do you think you're gonna end up anyway?
In the gutter, my sweet. With you?
No. No, not with me. Now you shake yourself out of it. Get back there. Stop laughing. I got something to say to you. You remember that time you got me out of jail? Well, you were sort of like a hero to me then. I had $15 and I wanted to pay you. You wouldn't take it. No, and you weren't looking for anything else either. So I sort of figured out that you were different to other men.
Well?
Well, you are. You're worse.
Well, supposing I am. What are you going to do about it?
Plenty. Oh, Mason, will you bring up some black coffee to Mr. Dunlap's room?
Oh.
Yeah, make it a jug full. Now, you snap out of it. Come on, now.
What are you doing? No, Pat. Well, don't sit there. You can't do that.
Now, get in there.
What is it, Pat?
Now, you got just 1 hour to get yourself in shape to see taxes.
You know, you can't make me see taxes if I don't want to.
No?
No.
Well, this is Pansy Gray, you see, and I've handled drunks before. Back here.
No, Pat, no. This is your Stop. No, Pansy. You can't do that. You can't.
Now, there's not a bit of good looking at me like that. I'm tired of trying to beat sense into you. Now, you get in there and say that until you can say uncle if it takes you the rest of your life.
Well, I don't take a bath anyway. I take a shower. You ought to know that by now.
Good morning, Nathan.
Morning, madam.
Morning.
I'm not the only one who's getting the habit of early rising, I see.
Oh, you've had breakfast.
Uh-huh. But I could do with another cup of coffee. I'll go in with you.
No, wait a minute. I want to tell you something.
Well, what is it?
Well, first, it's happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Pansy. That is nice of you.
Of course, I didn't buy you anything. Seems sort of silly when everything I've got you've given me.
Oh, you shouldn't worry about that, Pansy.
Oh, I'm not worrying about anything anymore. Because I found one thing I can give you that nobody else can. Guess what?
Oh, that's not fair. Haven't I been working hard enough?
Yeah, you've been working hard at everything.
Well, then, tell me. What is it?
Well, sit down, shut your eyes. Now, it's all tied up with red ribbon bows, and it's got a little card on it that says, "To Neil, with best wishes for a happy life from now on, from Pansy." Well, it's your freedom.
What do you mean?
I'm going away.
Oh, nonsense. I won't listen to it.
Why not?
Do you think I'm going to let you sacrifice yourself after all you've done for me?
Oh, I haven't done such a lot.
Oh, yes, you have. You made me work. And you poor kid, have had no fun at all.
Oh, yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Well, maybe it hasn't been fun exactly, but it has been novel. Having a beautiful house and nice clothes and a car, if you know what I mean.
You're awfully sweet, Pansy. And you're very pretty. I'd miss you.
Yeah, but you miss other people now.
Don't worry about that. It's time I did a little serious work. If I stayed at home more nights, I'd be a better lawyer today.
But if I went, you could get him back.
No, things are going very well. And they'll go better the more we get used to each other.
Does that mean you'd ever really get to like me?
It means the more I know you, the more I do like you.
Yeah, but you ought to go places sometimes. I heard you telling that Mr. Crosby over the telephone that you wouldn't have dinner with him Saturday night. Well, I wish you would. It wouldn't make me feel as if I was standing between you and your friends if you went places sometimes.
You're not standing between me and my friends, Pansy.
Yes, I am.
Very well. I'll ask some of them here to dinner just to prove it.
They won't come.
Of course they will.
You want to take a bet on it?
All right. All right, what do you bet?
Well, I bet you my first month's alimony.
No, come, be serious.
Well, I bet you a new tie, and I let you pick it out yourself.
Splendid. That'll be the first time in history a woman's ever done that. Wilmington, 1624.
You going to ask Mr. Saxon?
Oh, I don't know. Yes. Why?
Well, I think he's nice. I feel sort of comfortable with him.
All right.
Oh, how do you do? My husband will be down in a minute.
I've been wondering when we were going to meet again.
Mr. William Harvey.
How do you do?
How do you do?
My husband will be down in a minute.
Oh, that's all right. You needn't hurry. Hello, Harvey. Hello, Saxon. Well, my wife couldn't come. She had a cold. And at the last minute, she felt too bad to go out. We tried to phone, but the wire was busy.
Oh.
Cigarette?
No, thanks.
You, Harvey? Oh, thank you.
Hello, Tanner. How are you? Hello. My wife sent her regrets. She's had a cold for a week. In the last minute, she decided that it would be better not to take any chances, so stayed at home. We called you on the phone, but nobody answered.
I hope you'll be better soon.
Thank you.
So many people have got colds these days.
Yes. My dear, this is Mr. Tanner. How are you?
How are you?
Hello, Saxon, on that.
Hello, Hello, Tanner.
How are you?
This is Malcolm.
Oh. Kitty.
Hello, my dear.
Thank you. Pansy. Here's Kitty.
Hello there.
Hello, my dear.
Mr. Crosby.
Oh, Grant. Hello, Neil. That was nice of you. My dear, this is Grant Crosby. I'm very happy to meet you.
How do you do?
Well, Compton. And one? Thank you. Well, very good health.
Don't you want to move up, Tanner?
No. This is the first time I ever went anywhere to dinner and didn't have to entertain a lady on each side. I can eat instead of talk.
That doesn't interrupt you.
I don't intend to.
The brother's been distinguishing himself lately. Won 2 important cases last week.
Yes, I know. I'm so proud of him.
Eh? Oh, nonsense.
How do you manage to keep such a good cook?
Oh, by talking back to her sometimes, I guess.
Your husband should appreciate your eloquence.
Which Johnson?
I suppose.
Minor?
Are you very happy?
Yeah.
You come to lunch with me one day, Mrs. Dunlap.
Mrs. Dunlap will do nothing of the sort. She knows I'd be jealous.
You're kidding.
Does your husband ever go to New York?
Sure, sometimes.
Well, I want to date you up for the next time he's away.
Oh, I'm going with him.
Where do you stay when you're in New York?
Dunlap always goes to the same hotel I do, the Grand.
Oh, most Wilmington people do.
You are not ill, are you?
No, why?
You are white as my handkerchief. Drink your champagne. That's better.
I've a new gardener who promises me tomatoes in February. Kitty, will you and Pansy have your coffee here or in the other room?
Here, dear, if you don't mind.
Neil! Make this fella keep his hands off me!
What did you say?
Sit down, be quiet. He didn't mean anything.
I know he meant all right, the dirty drunk. Neil, you come here and throw him out. You come down here and throw him out for insulting your wife.
You have had too much to drink. Be quiet, please.
You better go, Harvey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I told him if he
Don't worry, I'm going.
dirty hands off me and his dirty mouth shut, you'd throw him out.
Sorry I got playful, Dunlap. I didn't think your wife was so easily teased.
Yes, you better go.
Well, you're not yourself. You better come upstairs. Come.
I'm all right.
No, Pansy.
I'm...
Please.
It was all his fault.
It was his fault. He was too drunk.
Nevertheless, I want you to come upstairs. Come.
All right, I'll go. I just wanted to have a little fun, that's all.
Yes, but come on.
Nice fun. And everything went bluey.
Pansy, you've got to go upstairs. Now, nevertheless,
leave me alone. I'm all right. Don't look at me like that. I can't stand it when you look at me like I was dead. I'm not dead, see? Just a little swift, that's all. Good night, Mr. Crosby. Good night, Mrs. Malcolm.
all right. Let me help you up. Don't worry about the vase. Come along.
Oh, I'm
Please.
fine.
No.
I hope it wasn't great-grandmother's face.
No. Let me help you. Come.
I'm all right. I can go upstairs on my soul. Oh, Neil.
Tell Mason I'll have my coffee served in my bedroom.
He's late.
If he's coming at all.
He accepted.
I know, but under the circumstances.
Of course, he may be feeling very sorry for her today.
Or very fed up.
Mr. Neil Dunlap.
Hello, Grant. How are you?
Hello, dear.
Hello, dear. I'm so sorry I'm late.
You're not very late.
Oh, aren't I?
No.
Aren't you going to speak to me, Neil?
Maybe he's waiting to be introduced.
Ellen.
Uncle Grant's got to let us sit next to each other. Perfectly proper.
now that we aren't married to each other any longer. I'll have some more coffee.
Yes, madam, at once.
You don't want to play bridge, do you?
Not if I don't have to.
You don't have to. I don't suppose Uncle Grant would have asked you if he'd known I was coming. I didn't really expect to see you, but I wanted to.
Why?
Because I've thought of you so much, I suppose. I can't help being glad my husband isn't here. He's jealous. Uncle Grant doesn't seem to think you're very happy, Neil.
Really?
Darling, why did you have to go and marry that sort of woman?
I want to talk to you.
It's late.
Yeah, but I wanted to tell you how that happened last night.
Need you go into all that?
Oh, Neil. Neil, why didn't you sit next to me and help me?
A husband doesn't usually sit next to his wife at a dinner party. He passes that honor on to one of his guests.
Oh. I didn't know.
No, it wasn't your fault. I expected too much. Good night.
Yesterday you liked me a little.
Oh, you're all right. But I'm tired. I don't want to talk anymore tonight.
Yeah, but I got a lot of things I want to say to you. You've just got to listen.
Oh, all right.
I know it's one thing for a man to be nice to a girl when he's tight, and I know it's another thing for him to wake up and find himself married to her.
You weren't to blame. I never blamed you, did I?
Oh, no, not in so many words. But I want to tell you why I stuck. I didn't leave you because, well, I fell in love with you. That's why I hung on to you. And now I want another chance. The other day I told you you could be free if you wanted to be. Because I loved you. And now tonight I want to stay because I love you.
You don't expect me to drive you out into the snow tonight, do you?
Oh, don't be funny. It means everything to me.
Mrs. Neal, then, are you sure? Ask her to come in and see that I am not interrupted. Hello.
Hello. I bet you're surprised to see me here, aren't you?
Surprised. Delighted. Sit down.
Thanks.
Smoke?
Thanks.
There. Get it? something to tell me. I am waiting to hear what it is.
Yeah, I have. I came to apologize to you for the way I acted the other night.
Oh, why should you?
I acted like any cheap...
Oh, nonsense.
Oh, I know. Drinking too much and screaming at Mr. Harvey and passing out. That's not the way Mrs. Neil Dunlap ought to act. I don't act that way either. I made up my mind I'm never going to get that lit again.
I wouldn't think any more about it if I were you.
I wish I didn't have to. But I don't want you or any of the people that were at the party the other night to think that that's the kind of thing that goes on all the time, because it doesn't. I'm making the rounds now to apologize to all of them.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hoped you'd come to me because you felt some particular sympathy between us.
I don't get that.
I like you.
The main thing is for you to keep on liking him, you and Mr. Harvey. I don't matter. May not be here much longer anyhow.
What does that mean?
Well, Neil's what everybody would call a gentleman, isn't he? And I'm certainly not what anybody call a lady. So it's plain to me I ought to get out even though he doesn't tell me straight he wants me to.
Perhaps your marriage was a mistake. Perhaps it would be better if you left him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Better for him.
And better for you, too. He's not the only man in the world, Pansy.
Well, he's the only one I care anything about.
That's what you think now. But you are wrong. I am the man for you.
You?
We are outsiders, you and I. You have danced half naked on the stage. I have black shoes, sold papers, and run a saloon. And even if I am rich now, and even if you are Neil Dunlap's wife, these people here will always look down on us both. So leave him. Leave him while he's still ashamed of you. And come to me. I will not look down on you. I like you.
You let me alone. You do that again and I'll teach you how to treat your friend's wife, you double-faced, cheap woman chaser.
Please, stop it.
You let me alone. I want to get out of here.
No, you've got to listen now.
No, tell it to somebody who wants to hear it.
Won't you ask me to sit down?
All right. Sit down if you got something to say. Mr. Dunlap will be here any minute now.
I didn't come to see your husband. I came to make you listen to something I want you to know.
Well, being as how I'm in my own home, I can't very well help myself. When he don't get fresh, I might get mad again.
Won't you sit down, please? Or must I stand too?
Oh, all right. I'm listening.
I'm in love with you.
I told you not to get fresh.
No, please, don't be a fool. And for heaven's sake, don't be a prude.
Of course, I know what you're thinking. You think it's funny for a girl who came from a burlesque show or worse to object to being insulted, because you know that's what you're doing. You're insulting me. And funny or not, I'm not going to stand for it.
No, my dear. It's not an insult. I want to marry you, you little idiot.
You want to marry me?
Yes. And now, will you listen to what I want to tell you?
I got a husband.
Oh, you are not really his wife. You are just here accidentally.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm here. While it makes me feel better to know that you think well enough of me to want me to be your wife, if you meant it.
I did mean it, and you know it. And I am sober.
Well, it's not right of you to throw up to me that he wasn't.
No, please, I'm sorry. Forget it, please.
We might just as well drop the subject.
Not until I've said what I came to say.
You've said enough.
I admit you sounded sincere. And if you were, well, maybe I might take back some of those things I said to you yesterday. Oh, I can't see how I could have said anything else.
Neither do I, knowing you as I know you now. For you are not just anybody's woman, Patsy.
You're a nice fellow, Mr. Saxon, but don't come here anymore. Goodbye.
Why shouldn't he come here anymore?
Well, if you've been listening, you'll know.
I have been making love to your wife. I've had my face slapped as I deserved and been told to get out.
You're behaving a little too well for me to believe that's all.
It's not all, Clive. Your wife may tell you the rest if she likes. But don't expect any apologies. I have none.
Not a drunken brute like Harvey. It's not possible he made love to my wife, unless he thought she wanted him to.
Well, he found out I didn't.
You apologized for something you said to him yesterday. Did he deliberately come here yesterday to see you? Or did he come to see me? And did you decide to amuse him?
He didn't come here yesterday to see anybody. I went to his office.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. What possible reason could you think of for going to his office?
I went to apologize. I went to everybody who was here that night, including your sister, to apologize for the way I acted.
Including Harvey?
Yeah, including Harvey. I got their addresses from your secretary. They were all fine about it, too, except Mr. Saxon.
Just what did Saxon do?
Well, you heard him say that he got his face slapped and he deserved it, didn't you?
I don't believe he deserved it.
You mean I'm to blame?
Certainly.
I told you couldn't help it.
You could keep out of men's offices. You could use a little common sense.
I'm sorry. I thought I was doing it for you.
What you've done for me is to make a pretty mess of things all around. Saxon's my best client. He pays me more than all my other business put together.
Oh, I see. This makes it hard for you to keep on working for him, I suppose. Still, I don't know as he'd feel that way about it.
Supposing he did lose his head for a moment. Why'd you have to make a scene? Such things happen. A woman with any taste or tact would have known how to put him in his place, have laughed at him, not got hysterical and tragic about it, and slapped his face. For a woman with your experience in life, you do seem a bit particular.
Oh, how can you talk to me like that?
What do you expect me to say?
Just because Saxon pays you more money than all the rest of your clients put together, you think he's got a right to make love to your wife?
Nonsense. If you knew all he'd done for me, you'd know he'd not make love to my wife, unless she asked for it.
Suppose he tried to kiss your first wife. Would you want her to laugh that off?
Don't be absurd. She'd never have gone to his office in the first place.
Oh, I see. She's too fine, I suppose. Well, you didn't think much of her the first time I talked to you.
We'll not discuss that.
Anyhow, what right have you got to blame me when your friends don't behave themselves?
How can I blame Saxon? He came to the hotel the morning after we were married and made me feel there was some hope for us. You know how narrow-minded most people are. You know where the stories in the papers were? Why, he didn't even want me to read them. But Saxon was broad-minded. He made me see we might rise above the dirty publicity of a drunken elopement. He even made me feel he admired me for daring to be so reckless. Then and there, he gave me all his law business.
What?
Yes. And I can't believe he wants to prove himself a bad prophet. I can't believe there's any reason why you should order him to keep away from this house. Any reason other than your own indiscretion and your rather silly sense of propriety. That's why I blame you instead of him.
Oh. If you hadn't gone through with it, if you tried to get rid of me, would Saxon still have wanted you to have his law business?
Oh, probably not. He'd have been disappointed if I'd shown the white feather.
So that's why you decided not to get rid of me, so you could keep Saxon's law business.
Don't think what you're thinking. It was his point of view that counted, not his business.
No? No wonder you were sore when you thought you were going to lose his money, because I'm not the kind of a wife who's willing to keep a good client in good humor.
Well, I wanted to say these things. I tell you that Saxon...
Lay off, Saxon! Saxon's all right. Everything's straight between him and I.
Well, stop it! I've got to talk and I won't listen.
All right, listen to this. There's a gutter name for men who aren't too choosy about the way they get their money.
How dare you talk to me like that? How dare you?
Oh, what a sap I've been. What a sap. Thinking myself not good enough for a man like you. Kidding myself into believing that it was wonderful just to be around such a great guy. Even praying that someday I'd be fit for you. Well, instead of me not being good enough for you, you're not good enough for me, see? And I'm through.
My wife has left me.
So?
I don't know what you meant by trying to make love to my wife.
You would like an explanation?
If you please.
First tell me, why she left you?
That's not your business.
I was only curious. I know of no reason why you should have quarreled. At least you had no reason to quarrel with her since she behaved as any woman of irreproachable character should have behaved under the same circumstances.
Then you admit that she was justified in slapping your face?
Completely.
I misjudged her. I couldn't believe you capable of deliberately insulting my wife.
That I did not do.
But you just said...
Why did you come here, Dunlop?
I came here to ask you if you made love to my wife without any encouragement on her part.
And if I did?
I came to ask you to find another attorney and then thrash you. But in one breath you admit that she was justified in slapping your face, and in the next you deny you insulted her.
It is very simple. I was not insulting her when I tried to kiss her. But since I tried against her will, she was perfectly right.
Well, why did you try to kiss her if you didn't mean to insult her? And me as well. Do you think she'd keep quiet? Or did you have some idea that I'd let you get away with a thing like that? Just because I happened to be taking your money.
I kissed her because I lost my head. I suddenly knew that I was in love with her.
What?
Is that so hard to believe? She was so lovely.
Yes, but...
Oh, don't be a blind fool, Dunlop. In every word she said, it was plain. She knew you cared nothing for her. So I asked her to leave you and marry me.
I can hardly believe that.
She couldn't either at first. I don't know what she told you, but she behaved magnificently.
Hello, Kitty.
Hello, dear. Cold out?
Yes, it is very. Anything important happened today?
What do you mean?
You asked me to be home by 5 o'clock. You said...
Oh, yes. I particularly wanted you home early today. Someone's coming.
Hansy?
Hadn't it? Well, she'd hardly come here. Why did you ask? Have you heard from her?
No. Well...
What have you heard?
I've heard nothing directly.
I wish you'd stop thinking about her.
But who is coming?
See you in a minute. As I've promised to leave you alone, I'll go.
Did Catherine tell you I was coming?
No?
I told her not to. There's something delightfully improper meeting one's ex-husband more or less secretly.
I thought you were in Florida.
We got back last week. And I wanted to see you, so I came to visit my dear uncle. Oh, Neil, it's so dreary always going places to get away from oneself and one's husband. He does bore me so dreadfully, Neil.
Well, you don't expect me to be sorry, do you?
I hope you'd be glad. I want you to be glad that I'm not happy.
Nonsense. I don't want revenge.
Then why don't you say you want me to be happy?
I do. Sincerely.
You and I should never have married in the first place.
No, that's quite true. You needed a rich husband. Now you've got one. You don't seem contented either.
And now that you've got rid of this dreadful woman, you can come to New York every week. I've the most beautiful studio, Neil, on the 26th floor of a new studio building. I told my husband I wanted to be alone, to write a book. Darling, I always was crazy about you. I hope I haven't shocked you.
You have?
Oh, don't tell me you are such a prude.
There's no use my preaching to you, Ellen. You've no more sense of right or wrong, or what you owe to anybody, than a kitten. But you'll have to find someone else to help you write your book.
I can find plenty.
Of course you can, and you will.
How do you know?
Well, because you're just anybody's woman. Anybody who'll give you what you want. Whether it's a diamond necklace, a kiss, or a laugh.
Why are you putting those on?
Well, we're going to the theater in a few minutes, aren't we?
But you don't need them, do you?
Of course I need them. I'm being as swell as possible tonight, as I hope you've noticed.
Oh, you know I have. It was very nice of you to wait for my telephone call with me. You may miss the whole first act. You should have gone with the others.
Now, how could I when you'd given my friends such a nice dinner and everything?
Why shouldn't I? They have been so very nice to you.
Yeah, they have.
And then not so hard to be nice to you.
Oh, I don't know. But a smart dressmaking shop is certainly the place for a girl to learn the ropes, all right. Mrs. Herman took me in hand right at the start. Deviled me into going to a voice teacher so I could learn the kind of English that wouldn't get on the customers' nerves. To tell you the truth, Mrs. Herman was just as green, I should say crude, as I was years ago. We were in a show together once. She hadn't remembered me, I never would have got that job at Herman. I'm doing all the talking. What are you looking at me like that for?
I think I'll see why my call hasn't come through. Will you look at the paper while I tell the operator what I think of her?
Yes, thanks, but don't be too severe with her. Maybe the long distance is doing a rushing business tonight. It's only a little past 8:30.
All the same, my secretary is waiting and there is no excuse. Can you see in this light?
Well, put on that lamp. I'll sit over here.
Oh, that's not enough. Oh, here's another one. Oh, I think it's burned out.
Oh, well, it's all right. I can see fine.
People are writing books about love every day, Nancy. They don't know what it is.
I guess that's right. What have we done on this subject?
A great doctor in Vienna says, love is an attraction, strangely related to memory.
I guess that's true, too.
I never intended to talk about it tonight, but since I've begun, you've got to listen. There is something I've always wanted to tell you. But I didn't because I was afraid it wouldn't interest you. But now it may. 4 years ago, I saw you at the first time on the stage. I didn't know then that you were doing anything to my heart. And now, for the 80th time, I'm asking you, marry me.
Getting sort of cold all over.
There's a fan on somewhere. I'll turn it off. Pardon me.
Hope you don't mind my turning on this handbill. Can you hear me? You're so deaf I'll have to shout. I wanted to tell you how miserable I've been since my wife left me. I never realized how much I loved her till she went away.
Neil. Neil!
I must see you. I want to talk to you.
Wait a minute. My dear. Are you there, Johnson? Cancel my order for a yacht. I won't need it after all.